Hello and welcome to Surprisingly Music. I am Trevor,
And I am Taryn.
and this is a great episode today that we're going to have in store for you because it is doing one of my favorite bands today.
It's an episode.
It's an episode. You have your episodes and I have mine. That's the whole point of this show. We give and take.
Yeah.
Pitch and catch.
Yeah, it's like a 69. It's all about giving and receiving.
Somebody's got to have a dick in their mouth.
Except lesbians.
They have all the fun. This podcast has already gone off the rails. We're a little rusty, even though we would.
Yeah, no, we're like, one day late recording. Suddenly we forget who we are.
I forget who I am on a weekly basis.
So I don't know how to pronounce the name of this album.
So it is pronounced, this is the White Stripes' second album, Die Stijl. It's Dutch.
Yeah.
And it is called, it's in Dutch it translates to the style, but it's named after a Dutch
art movement.
Yeah, an art movement from mid-century. I don't know anything about it.
I tried to look it up and it pulled up the art style first, but I think that's just Google knowing its audience that I don't listen to the White Stripes.
No, it does it for me too.
Okay.
Because it was a very popular movement, and this is actually not their most popular album. It's fan favorite.
It's not even like on the top 4 on like the Spotify page.
So the reason I chose this one for you is because this one does not have Meg singing on it solely.
Okay.
And I
heard her contributing.
Yeah, she did backup vocals, but there's like a song on each album after this that were, she's on them. And it was either this album or their very first album, and I felt like this would probably have a couple songs on it for you, but kind of show you other sides of the White Stripes, because their first album is pretty you're just like, was this recorded through a fucking tomato can? It's so raw.
This definitely did have some aspects of the White Stripes that I'm not familiar with, so it was, in my opinion, a good choice, but I haven't heard their other albums, so
yeah.
It could be a bad choice, and I just wouldn't know better. But yeah, it did, considering like I only knew maybe 3 songs from the White Stripes.
And one of them is Seven Nation Army.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this isn't like those 3 songs.
Yeah. So, just background on the White Stripes. The White Stripes, Jack White, Meg White. We've talked about them with the Black Keys episode, because that was
another garage rock bluesy 2-piece band.
Yeah, that I chose.
Yep. Where are they from?
So the White Stripes are from Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan. So Jack White is the guitarist. Meg White is the drummer. We'll just say percussive, and all the other instruments are Jack, because they do play piano on this album.
Yep.
So Jack White kind of grew up, being a musician. It was kind of his thing. Family's a large family, Catholic family. He started out as a drummer. That's when he actually started to play, and then
most good musicians start out as drummers,
and then they switch to the real instruments. I mean, you gotta say, for starting guitar in your teenage years, after becoming a drummer and being a damn good guitarist doesn't happen very often. So yeah, he started it with Meg White, and they both kind of met on the music scene in Detroit. I'm not going to go into a huge detail about because I've read a Jack White biography, so I can go into super depth detail, but I'm not going to, because it's kind of just dumb and pointless.
So we're here to talk about an album, not a pretentious rock star.
That's true. So they kind of met on the music scene in Detroit. And they got married, even though they told everyone they were brother and sister. They did that to avoid press, which I think is honestly the better idea. Yeah. When you see all the shit that happened with like all the other celebrities and stuff like that at the time, who, like Britney Spears, she just had a fucking documentary come out here about how she was like, how she went off the deep end because of the fucking horrible media and internet and all the shit out there.
Yeah.
So I think that was the right move. But anyway, they ended up I think they got divorced by their second album, this album. And they were together for another 11 or 12 years.
from the little research I did, it looked like they were together for this album, but not after this album.
Yeah, it was like relatively right there.
Yeah.
They were divorced longer than they were together for the band. Because this is their second album. The first one came out in 99.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this has become a cult favorite with garage rock, Jack White, White Stripes fans. This is like one of their favorite albums, Die Stijl. So
from what I saw, this, because I was listening to this album, and I was a little salty at some parts. And so I was like, who the fuck produced this? Because whoever produced it needs to never produce music again. And then I looked it up, and Jack White produced the album in his living room with an 8-track Tascam recorder, and it all made sense.
Just like the Black Keys album that we listened to.
Yes.
Except they did it in their basement.
Yes. But,
no, that's something we'll get into when we talk about the album, because I know you are... You'd be a good producer.
I'm just saying, just because you are a super talented musician, because I'm not taking away from Jack's, like, talent. He's a great musician. He's a really good singer. He's an amazing guitarist. He's a great songwriter. But that doesn't mean you should produce your own music. Music production, like, is more of, like, a sonic, like, perfection thing. And, like, knowing more about, like, the flow of the song and transitioning from part to part. It's about understanding, like, kind of like the science and like aspect of the song almost. Like, he's the artist. Now he needs someone who, like, will have, like, the best paint available for him. And he doesn't produce well.
I agree with what you're saying, but unfortunately to this genre, I don't think that it vibes well. I think what you were getting at is, like, you're, like, talking about the Black Keys. Their stuff is, like, basically better produced White Stripes music. I think is just the clean and super simple way of oversimplifying it. Way of saying it.
Like, in some of their songs, the transitions just sound straight amateurish. Like, going from, like, a verse to a pre-chorus or into a chorus. Like, it looked like he had two ideas that were, like, in the same key, kind of the same vibe, but then just had no idea how to get to them. So he would just throw in something weird in the middle, like complete dead air, except for a drum tapping on the rim of the drum, just and it was like, okay, cool, that definitely flowed. It didn't, but, you know, like, he just, like, doesn't understand how to move from one section of the song to the others as well as a producer should, and a producer being there to be like, hey, you should put, like, this in the middle so it connects better, because they see those better.
I know which song you're talking about on that, and I have to disagree.
Yeah, you
because
got bad
it's
taste.
You have your taste.
Yeah, I'm fucking with you. Jesus.
I know, but, like, it's just a completely different style of music. This is like super blues heavy. I mean, there's two just blues covers on this song that are just, you know, it's where they didn't have producers.
Yeah, but
they were recording in a fucking bar in Louisiana.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should just have bad transitions. Like that.
But it's the thing, though. I know the exact piece that you're talking about, and I think it sounds great.
But then there's other ones where it's just like, you could tell they just put, like, a random 1-bar fill in the middle of it because you just could tell they had no idea how to move the song. Like, it was just like, they just made a lot of bad calls on the transitions. Like, the verses and the choruses themselves were fine, but just almost every song, the space in between just was like, they were kind of looking at it like, just start playing shit and then we'll start playing the next part. And it was just like, every single time it happened, it would just, like, take you out of the experience, then okay, back into it.
I think that's because you're coming from a different view, which is always good.
Of songs that flow.
Okay. Yeah, you can have your own fucking opinion.
Oh, Jesus.
You can have your own fucking opinion. But this is a different style of music. This is completely... A lot of this was off the cuff.
Okay.
It was just... I understand where you're coming from your point of view, because I know your type of music, and I think that it's overproduced. Well, yes, and I get that everything flows silky smooth.
Well, no, like even like let's look at like a band that we notoriously bring up on the podcast that I don't like. The Beatles have amazing transitions. Like just like the way they go from verse to chorus is perfect because they knew
the
like
same type of music. Though.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they know what chords and what like drum patterns to put in between their parts.
Well, they also had an incredible producer.
Yeah,
like.
But like we've even like had like kind of like bluesier stuff that did have like just good like flow between. Like
you could get in. So the Black Keys blues and the Black Pistol Fire blues is, I'd say, in the same tree as the White Stripes, obviously, but Jack White's blues is a different type of blues that it's not the BB King or Howlin' Wolf style blues. This is like
it's much more garage rock than
no, I'm not talking about garage rock. I'm talking about the influences that he's talking about. Like the last song on the album is Your Southern Can Is Mine. That's Blind Willie McTell. That's like ragtime blues, where it's like it's so like niche, and how he's influenced or how he's bringing it in to his music it's weird, and he's an off the cuff kind of guy. Like I feel like all of these songs were recorded like in one take. Like he did them in one full take, and he's like, we didn't do it on that take, let's do it again, and he did the whole song.
Yeah, you can very much tell by some of the parts, like some of the imperfections of the parts, which for the genre is what you want. You don't want perfect, you want like a natural feel to it, but you could definitely tell like you should have done a second take of that chorus, but you didn't. You just, because also, it was all a part of the one good take.
Yeah, but some of the stuff he's doing, it's like that was probably the best he could get it.
Yeah.
Where because he's like I'd say almost half these fucking songs are slide guitar, and when he's up here with the drop D tuning, fucking around with that, and then he's got to slide up to the 17th fret on the bottom E string, or the top E string, whichever the fuck one it is. But yeah, let's get into the album.
Let's get into the album. She's pretty good looking
for a girl. I thought that this was like a kind of a fun way to start the album. It's obviously a very weird title song, like a title for a song. You're pretty good looking for a girl. And in the lyrics, it doesn't really explain itself.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But it's just still kind of like a weird, like fun song. And this one, I feel like this one is one of the songs that has like the most imperfections in it for me that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like one of those things. It's like girl with freckles.
Yeah.
I like girl with freckles.
This is my favorite song on the album. Right out the fucking gate.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, no, just the song started playing, and I was like,
I want everyone to go back and listen to the last Surprisingly music at the very end when I told him that this was it, and he looked it up and he goes, "You're pretty good looking for a girl." And just see the look on his face, and then that was his favorite song.
Yeah, no, the riff and the melody pairing like worked super well together. His vocal performance was really good in the way that like just the way he applied like grit and kind of like getting a little bit like overtony at some part, like really just went with that super like raw guitar vibe.
Yeah.
Where it was just like they just like harmonized perfectly.
The guitar and his voice.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jack White fan, but I think he sings like dog shit. Here's how I'm going to put it. You have vocals, guitar, and drums for the White Stripes. Those are the three main instruments. They'll put pianos and fucking tambourines and shit in. The guitar is fucking exceptional, if not legendary. The vocals are good enough with the guitar, and the drums are good enough.
I wouldn't call the drums good enough, but yeah. Dude, so pretty much the whole way through...
the song or the album?
The album. Meg just sounds like she is like... Her shoulders are just... And her back are nothing but like tensed up. And she's just like... just trying so hard to like stay in time. It just sounds like super like rigid.
So, and I see where that's coming from. So when you listen or when you watch a live performance of the White Stripes, this goes back to what you were saying about how they need a producer because it's erratic. Jack White is very erratic. He kind of will just go off and do something. His live performances are fucking crazy. He goes off and will just do crazy things, and the other musicians have to watch him.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what's he gonna do? I need to make sure that I'm staying in time with him. And there's I can't. Oh, what song is it? I think it's Death Letter, where there's like several tempo changes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I fucking Jesus, you got to keep up with that shit.
Yeah.
So I give her a benefit of the doubt on that one, and just say the drums were just what the White Stripes needed.
Yeah.
Just to get it by.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like,
I do get the rigid thing. It's like compare her to the drummer for the Arctic Monkeys or the drummer for Royal Blood, like just ones that I know. They're way more just. It does sound way more fluid, and it's honestly the drumming for Royal Blood is probably the better part of Royal Blood.
Yeah.
I mean the bass is great.
Their drumming is fucking amazing.
Their drumming is fucking amazing.
But yeah, like that's just kind of another place where a producer will come in handy, because it's like they'll hear like, yes, you were playing in time, but like relax a bit. Like, you know, like they just like will notice those little things that are like, it'll sound better if you do this.
Yeah,
So,
but you know that's just
yeah.
If you listen to anything that Jack White's record label puts out, Third Man Records, you can definitely tell that it's. I don't want to say that it's not produced. It's just I think he gives more like he's like more of that raw sound kind of guy.
Yeah, which is fine, but you should still have someone in the room who's just super well versed in recording and like overall like studio performance that is like, hey, don't be so tight. Hey, like, you know, strum a bit harder on the guitar on this part. Be a little softer on this part.
I think the perfect kind of producer would be someone who is well versed in music, but I wouldn't say that they're a musician.
Oh yeah, no. Like maybe they play like a little music,
like
but
obviously they
it's
have
like
to
not their thing.
Yeah, they have to understand music and everything like that, but they're not one who's like Kanye. Kanye is apparently a great producer. You know, we've all heard songs of his before he was famous. We all have. I mean, he did a bunch of Kid Cudi songs.
I haven't listened to Kid Cudi.
I mean, they're in movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
But you know, and then he blossomed into his own thing, an artist, and you know, I don't. He probably has producers. I don't know where I was going with that, but
all right. So yeah, Pretty Good Looking for a Girl was a fucking banger of a song.
Okay.
Great way to start the album.
Yeah.
And next we have Hello Operator.
This is one of my favorite White Stripes songs.
Okay.
Hello Operator. One fun fact I love about this song is this song does not have a chorus. Yeah, think about it. It does not have a chorus.
I mean, it kind of does. It's just not like your typical chorus. Like,
the whole song is kind of the same.
Yeah. It's kind of in the same way that, not to insult Hello Operator, but it's kind of like the song by The Killers, Mr. Brightside, where it's kind of like, yeah, it's just like...
The only repetitive thing is I'm Mr. Brightside, and the only repetitive thing in this thing is Hello Operator, and then the rest of the verse.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that stays the same. I love this song. It's just super fun, and it's that raunchy White Stripes noise, you know, that made them famous when they get, you know, like the hardest button to button later on. Mm-hmm. That power chord, and then the riff, power chord, riff. It's a classic. It was the only single off the album as well. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I can't believe that you didn't like that one more than You're Pretty Good Looking for a Girl.
Personally, I cannot stand the sound of blues riffs that like, and it's just like, it always just like every time it hits my ear, I'm just like,
yeah, you've mentioned that multiple times before to me that you don't understand why they'll go from like an open, like an E, like a deep E sound to all the way up the neck.
Well, it's like not even that. It's just like that, like overly mid-heavy guitar tone. It's just like, I just can't stand it. And then they feel the need to like just like bend every fucking note they play. It just doesn't sound good to me.
Soul, brother. So you're really gonna hate the next song then?
Yeah.
Little Bird.
Yeah. So again, I think his voice paired really well here.
Because in the beginning he gets that kind of deeper tone.
Yeah.
You know? I got a little bird. You know.
I'm not talking about Little Bird. I'm talking about Hello Operator.
Oh, you're still on that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
the one I haven't talked about yet. So they paired really well. This is a song with the really dumb drum tapping that was out of place and served no purpose. I put the transitions weren't good. They were obviously done by a musician and not by a real producer. Because it was such musician decisions. Like, there's definitely a difference in the decisions made between an artist and the producer. And they were such like, yeah, you're a musician to make those calls. But I think one of the biggest hangups I have about the song is that it sounds like the vocals and the guitar were just like mixed at like two different times and weren't like kind of compared to one another. So like they mixed the guitar and they're like, okay, cool, the guitar now sounds like we want. And then next day he came back and just mixed the vocals and was like, okay, now that sounds like what I want. But they sound like different in a way. Like it almost sounds like they're two different songs, but then they like overlaid the vocal.
I hear that. I hear what you're saying. I can tell that. I don't know if that's a downfall for me.
Yeah.
But I pick up what you're putting down.
Yeah. But like his vocal performance reflected the song really well. So I'm not going to get on his case about like that being like an inherently bad thing about the song because he may not have done it. It could have been a mixing engineer because I didn't see any credits for any like audio production team at all. So maybe it was all Jack.
No, yeah, they recorded it all and produced it all and then put it out on an indie record label called Sympathy for the Record Industry.
Yep. And apparently they put out like so few like copies of the album that like people like were just like desperately trying to find it because they would hear it amongst all the rap rock of the early 2000s. And we're like, holy shit, I want this. And then we're just going around to like every record store and just no one would carry it because like,
it was too small.
Who's this shit?
Yeah, well, that was another thing about the White Stripes is they kind of filled that void of rock.
Yeah.
That like late 90s, early 2000s, there was like really no good rock music.
Yeah, it was like all like rap rock.
Rap and R&B.
Yeah.
And whatever rock you did have wasn't that great because grunge was over.
Yeah.
And then, you know, all the new stuff, new metal hadn't really come out yet.
Yeah. Like it was just about to start like Linkin Park and shit.
Yeah, and there was just that void and yeah, the White Stripes kind of filled that void and then they made their own scene with the garage rock scene, or they expanded it because it was pretty big in Detroit already.
Yeah, like it was already a thing. They were just the ones to get famous. And
so
bring
weird
to
that in the late 90s, Detroit was the place for music.
Yeah.
Like I was reading that Jack White biography and you're hearing like, you know, all these bands that other bands have said that they were influenced by, and you've never heard of those bands. You got Eminem coming out of there. Like two genres came out of Detroit.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
All right, so up next we got Little Bird.
Little Bird. So you obviously don't like this song because it's got the deep notes, and then this is a slide guitar song.
Yeah.
100%.
Another overly bluesy riff is what I have down. I like the like smoothness of the intro though. Like that nice kind of like just like chill vibe intro into the song. And then at a minute 45 in, the bridge where like it starts getting like faster over time, like the music completely comes down, and then he starts playing starts doing like tremolo. I don't know how to pronounce it. Picking on the guitar, and then the drums like slowly kind of pick up speed. like I every single time I listened to it thought Little Bird had ended, and then that was the start of a new song. And then I'd look down and like, nope, still Little Bird.
Yeah. This I'd have to say was one of my. This is gonna be my favorite White Stripes song off this album.
Okay.
Do you see the distinction that I made?
Yes.
This is my favorite.
I saw it.
White Stripes song off this album.
So I'm gonna assume one of them's a cover.
There are 2 covers that I know of on this album.
Okay. I wonder if I shit on them.
You probably do because they were by blues artists. You like that pause?
I see what you did there. Jesus.
That was accidental too.
Yeah. It's not. I didn't really dislike the song, but it was definitely not my cup of tea.
No, yeah, I kind of thought that. Yeah, no, I like this song. It was very bluesy. It feels a lot longer than it is. That's another thing too that I was realizing that there's. It's so crazy how this is like it's 13 songs and it comes in at under 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, a lot of the songs were sub 2 minutes.
Sub 2 minutes, but then you do have that are a few that are like 4.5. You have a couple that are 4.5 minutes.
Yeah,
that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, like Death Letter.
Yeah, Death Letter is one of them that I think is too long, and that is also a cover. But yeah, I like Little Bird. I think it's my favorite song off the album. I like the slide guitar, and Jack White is incredibly good at the slide guitar. So yeah.
Yep. Apple Blossom.
Apple Blossom. This one has become an iconic song.
I really liked it.
It's a nice little just acoustic song.
It's just a nice, smooth, like minimalist song.
Yeah, it's the piano comes in. I
Yeah.
mean, he's playing acoustic guitar and playing piano.
Mm-hmm.
So this had to be a produced song, obviously.
Yeah.
So this one is probably, I think, the best produced song on the album.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. It's been used in The Hateful Eight by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was in that. I think I love this song. It's a great song. I would say it's probably up there with "We're Gonna Be Friends" as one of the best acoustic White Stripes songs.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
No, yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, no, it's a great song. I mean, Apple Blossom. I think anybody who's searched the White Stripes music review podcast and found us somehow is gonna probably be on board that Apple Blossom is a pretty good song.
Yeah, it's really good. The melodies were nice. Just a nice chill song. Kind of brought the energy down from the rest of the album.
Yeah. And
like it kind of happened at the like right time of the album.
Yeah, especially after 3 songs that I think were pretty heavy on the old hot sauce there with the distortion. And bluesy riffs, and then you get this nice little acoustic that's just. Yeah, and I agree that Jack White somehow his singing matches whatever song he's doing. I just like, I don't know.
It'd be cool if he was better at it.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you're like John Mayer or something.
Yeah,
man. He had like a smooth voice. But yeah, the voice matches the guitar perfectly, and it's just it's a great little song.
Yeah.
So
next we got "I'm Bound to Pack It Up."
I'm Bound to Pack It Up. Another kind of I wouldn't say it's acoustic, but
it's a slow song.
It's a slower song. He's got a bright effect on the guitar, and he's playing a D chord up and down the neck, and doing pull-offs, which I fucking love that. The Beatles did that for a song. A bunch of other artists have used a D chord, and they'll do like pull-offs to make it sound fuller, and I love that. I don't want to say this is a forgettable song because I don't think it's a forgettable song for me, but it doesn't. It's not what everyone knows the White Stripes for, that sound. But I do think it shows another side to it, and I think it's done really well. It's just a different kind of song. It's a little country.
I would have liked this song a lot better if it was somewhere else on the album, because just having like the 2 slow songs just right back to back. But then the rest of the album being like moderately high energy. Yeah. It was just like...
This should have been placed somewhere else.
Where it was like, serve as like a palate cleanser. You know, like we went hard for a bit, now let's take it easy before we go hard again.
Yeah.
So, that was pretty much my only hang up with the song. Like, similar to you, it was kind of forgettable, but I think that just has to do with where it was on the album.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up next we got Death Letter.
Death Letter, a song originally by blues artist whose name is Son House.
Son House.
Yeah, he his version is actually mainly like I wouldn't say it's mainly just kind of like vocal with like a little bit of like beat that he kind of does with a little bit of guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I've if I remember, this song is the one where it goes John the Revelator, or no, that's Canon. Never mind, that's a different song. But Death Letter, yeah, original song. This one I feel like is too fucking long because it's very repetitive.
Having one riff that you play for almost 5 minutes is fucking absurd.
Yes.
Like, it's a pretty good riff. Like, as far as a blues riff goes, which I'm not a fan of, this was pretty good to me. And
it's in drop D. I know you love drop D.
Oh, I like drop F sharp, but yeah.
It's not a real fucking tuning.
Yeah, it is.
I know it is, but it shouldn't be. Okay?
It's Architect's tuning. Their new album comes out soon. Actually, it's out.
2 hours?
No, it's out.
Oh, because it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely got old fast. And also my note about it is like blues riff into a basic drum beat in the vocals. What is this, a White Stripes song? Because like, at this point I realized, like, man, they really just do the same intro just every single song.
So yeah, I mean, can't fault the White Stripes for it because it's not their song.
Yeah.
I feel like they made it their song though.
Yeah, I would never guess that it's a cover. It's just like
it sounded like
it's so Jack White sounding.
Yeah,
like stylistically.
Yeah, when you listen to this song and then Little Bird, you're like, I can see where like he would have gotten like one of these songs from the other one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd think that Death Letter, after listening to Little Bird, would have been along the same lines. It is a little bit repetitive. I do like the deeper sounding guitar on it. I think they did a good job with it. I'd probably say it's even better than the original.
I'll have to agree with you. I haven't heard the original.
Yeah, I know you haven't.
But yeah, it
was all right, and I would say
it could be improved by being cut in half in terms of length.
Oh yeah, no, it's very repetitive. I do like the lyrics though. It's very, it's very strange. It's a weird song.
Yeah.
Just when you think about it. But then when you hear like, you know, where it came from, you know, fucking the 30s.
Yeah.
You know, in the fucking Louisiana, you're like, Jesus.
A lot of Jack White stuff kind of sounds like it came out of a time machine. Like it sounds like early 2000s, but somehow at the same time like the 30s, 20s ish.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. His influence from the like Delta blues is it's so incredible. Like I would almost have to go through all of his albums, but there's probably one cover of like a blues song, like not like, you know, like a B.B. King blues song, like an old 20s 30s Delta blues style blues song, on there. But yeah, so Death Letter, it's an iconic blues song, and I think that they did a good job with it.
Cool. So next we got Sister, Do You Know My Name?
Forgettable fucking song.
Is Jack depressed because he kind of sounds depressed?
It's a forgettable fucking song, honestly.
Yeah. So next we got
let's
Truth Doesn't Make a Noise.
Truth Doesn't Make a Noise. So this one does something that I love when the guitar follows the vocals.
Yeah.
In a way, I kind of like that, and there's like one riff that just like it just really sets it apart. The main riff sets it apart. It's just when it starts out, you're like, but it kind of brings you back up a little bit. It's not a showstopper or anything like that. This isn't a song that I would want him to play live.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from the rest of the album.
Yeah. So this song, it sounds like Jack White was like, you know what, I'm gonna give Gent a try, because like you got that like super like low on the neck kind of like riffing, and then you have like the piano like riffing in addition to it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the pairing of in gent music of
I
a
didn't
rhythm
even think-
guitar and a lead guitar doing like all like the tapping up high up on the neck.
I didn't even think about that.
I
I didn't even think about that. That's fucking.
And like I
that's-
was listening to it, I was like, ah.
You're just like, ah. Oh fuck.
Doing God's work, Jackie boy.
He is Catholic, or was. I don't know if he
Yeah,
still
is he still? Can you
Probably.
Are you allowed to make rock music and be Catholic? I thought that was like against the rules.
I mean, maybe in the 50s.
But yeah, like this was a nice middle ground of the grittier rock sound and their slow, chill sound.
That's the perfect way of putting it. And it's right in the middle of the album too.
Yeah, this would have almost served well as a like really early in the album song because like it's so like encompassing of the rest of the vibe of the album that it would have really served well toward the start. It's like here's what our tricks look like now, like when they hit you on the album, it won't like kind of take you out of the experience because you'll kind of like got a taste of that.
Yeah, here's all of our ingredients, and then each song will be like one ingredient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I the way you put it, I actually kind of the way you described it made me like it a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
Not what I expected of this episode, but yeah.
All right, so up next we got Boy's Best Friend.
This is a weird song, but somehow I feel like it works. It's way too long at 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
Yeah. Based on the first chord, I think this boy's best friend is drinking to forget.
That's my best friend.
This is like such a fucking depressing sounding song. And
Especially at the end when it says the boy's best friend is his mom.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, that's how it ends.
My note was the song lasts way too long without actually going anywhere. It's just so
Yeah, it is. It's another repetitive song.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately very stylistic in the blues, though.
Yeah.
Very repetitive, and it's usually not with choruses. That's what's catchy. It's with verses, which
Yeah.
I've. That's just an unfortunate characteristic of the blues. I feel like.
Yeah.
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 So, boy's best friend. It's got the guitar saves it. I think.
Yeah, the guitar work was really good, but it was just such a dreary, sad song that it was just like, okay, we're doing this again.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. So yeah.
All right.
Next song is "Let's Build a Home."
So what was the intro?
What?
Like the talking.
Oh,
Like, was that like Jack talking to and like his Meg talking to their kid or something, or was
they
it...
don't have a kid. I don't know what it was. I tried looking into it, but I could only...
Wait. What?
They don't have a kid together.
Then who's Jack's kid who goes to the same school as the fucking
With
dude?
one of his other wives.
Oh, okay.
That Karen chick
Okay.
I was telling you about.
Is she a Karen or is her name Karen?
Her name is Karen
Okay.
something.
Okay.
No. So Jack, I don't know what that is. It does. You can hear Jack. You can hear what sounds like Jack talking to a woman and a child.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I tried looking into it and I couldn't find anything. I could only find something on the next song, Jumble,
Yeah.
which has an intro similar. Which, how long is the intro in this? Something like 15, 20 seconds of them talking and this kid's fucking trying to sing a song.
Yeah.
I hate that sort of shit.
Yeah.
I hate it so fucking much.
Yeah.
But this is a fucking good song.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking banger.
It
It's got tons of energy.
Slaps. Holy shit.
Slaps hard. It's in my notes.
Yeah, it slaps so hard.
And this was one of the least bad performances out of Meg, so got to give this one a gold star.
This one...
Didn't sound as rigid. Yeah, just high energy, fucking tons of fun.
At an hour 58, or not an hour 58, at a minute 58. That's why I drink on the podcast. So I have an excuse for being dumb. At a minute 58, it's perfect length. I mean, I'd say it's on a little bit on the short side,
Yeah.
but for the song, everything fucking hits. It ends sooner. It leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
And it's just a great song. I mean, with the 15, 20 fucking seconds at the front end of the
yeah. It's pretty much only a minute and a half at that point.
Yeah. So it's just it's a fucking, you're just like, and this is his punk roots from the 80s Detroit showing.
Yeah.
When you know, this is like, oh fuck, power chords, here we go.
Yeah. Like it's got a little bit of like,
and the drums were soulful in it. You know, like,
it's got a little bit of that Black Flag like hardcore influence.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah, I like this song, and that's why I'm surprised this was not your favorite.
Yeah. No, pretty much the thing that sets Pretty Good Looking for a Girl above this song is the intro, like you said, is just dumb, shouldn't be there. And then I don't know, like Pretty Good Looking for a Girl just definitely has like a lot more like power and vibe to it, where it's just like it's much more cohesively a song. Well, this is like a really good jam.
Yeah, and you're pretty good looking. The way it starts out, you know, you have like an intro, and it goes, it kind of, oh yeah, you're pretty good looking, and then kind of crash for a girl, and it grabs your attention.
Yeah.
So that's I understand that.
Like
this song,
this one's
slaps.
really good. Yeah.
This one is a like, oh fuck, here, like, damn, this is like kind of like that thing where we were talking about in the last song, where it shows one of their ingredients.
Yeah.
That like punk power chord kind of side of it, and you're like, I see where a lot of their other stuff comes from now because of this one song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Let's Build a Home. Good song.
And then we got Jumble.
So quick fact on this one, this is what I found out. That little intro where they're speaking French apparently was a recording of a Canadian radio broadcast.
Okay.
And that's where they were speaking in French, because it was in French Canadian territory, wherever the fuck that is. Just speak Canadian. It's not that fucking difficult.
Oh dear.
And apparently the radio broadcaster ended up suing the White Stripes like 6 years later for, you know, using it without their permission. I don't know what happened to it. It got settled out of court, as most things do. So but the song, I like this song. It's another one of those,
another high energy fun.
It's Let's Build a Home, the punk, with a little bit of bluesy dash.
A little bit more riff.
Yeah.
In it.
A little more riffage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more riffage in it. And this one's only a minute 53 too.
Yeah. So like I was just wondering while I was listening to this song, like where were bangers like this in the middle of the song when I wanted to shoot myself with a shotgun?
On the middle of the album?
The middle of the album felt like what Kurt Cobain's final moments were. Oh. And then this this is good.
Yeah. No, Jumble, like when it's one of those things that's like, I would like the song 10% more if that little intro was not added.
Yeah.
I don't understand the artistic creativity behind it. It's more of like, I'm not going to put this on a playlist because of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be in a car with a girl that I'm like taking on a date, and like this song comes on, and it's like these two French people talking through a fucking radio, and it's like they're speaking French. Oh no, like what the fuck are we listening to? And then all of a sudden it goes, and like okay.
That actually brings up a really good question for me. Let's finish out this song though. Again, I get it. You can bend chords to represent how sad you are. Doesn't mean you need to every other note. All right. So this song was really fun for me to listen to. But what kind of music do you listen to in the car when you're on a first date with a girl? Like, do you...
It's been so long.
But like, do you like kind of sit in the pocket and like do the more like I don't know, like all-encompassing friendly music like Panic at the Disco music when you're in the car, or do you like get a little bit closer to what you actually like? Because I don't listen to music I like when I'm in a car with a girl.
Or you can't. People will be like, this man's about to fucking ass rape me and murder me.
Yeah.
Because the song just said those words. No, this is a good topic. So I love creating playlists on Spotify. It's like I'll stay up an hour and a half later extra every night doing that, and with certain situations in mind like this. I have the last one that I went on. I didn't get to play music because I was so nervous. I didn't actually fucking plug my phone in and play. We just talked the whole time like fucking psychopaths. But yeah, no, I'll usually have a playlist of a little bit that's a little more poppy. It'll be Panic at the Disco, and more poppy versions of bands that I like their poppy songs. Like if I'll throw Fever in by the Black Keys, you know, which is a Seven Nation Army ripoff, but I won't go there. It's the fucking same exact fucking progression, just instead of on the A string, it's on the E string. Fucking blatant ripoff. But yeah, no, I'll throw in Panic at the Disco and be like, hey, look, I'm progressive.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like banging out like Slaughter to Prevail or Knocked Loose or
Knuckle Puck.
Well, Knuckle Puck's fine. They're upbeat, sad pop punk.
Never listened to them, so I just assume that.
Based on like the kind of girls I'm into, I usually stick with pop punk.
I'm also before I go on a date, I feel like music is a pretty big thing in my life. So I've talked about it and talked about what, you know, kind of music I love. More than likely guitars come up because I have to show them that I am actually good at something and can stick with something for more than, you know, a year.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've been playing guitar since I was 15. So
that's me with cooking, man.
Yeah. Like, look, I have a skill that can impress you, but do nothing else.
Like, I feel like I feel like cooking is a skill that can do more than just impress.
No, I know.
Like,
I'm talking about my skill.
Yeah. But no, that's something that's really underrated amongst guys, I think. Just having a fucking skill that, like, can also impress. Like, I don't know. I feel like so many guys these days, like, oh yeah, I just play video games and drink and smoke and hang out with my friends. You want to come over and watch me play video games?
You want to know something that happened this tonight? Speaking of skills, so I went to the store across the street, and I was looking in the automotive section for some stuff that I wanted to get for the garage, so I can refill my shit, because, you know, I'm pretty mechanically apt,
knowledgeable.
Yeah, and this girl who works for the store walked by several times the aisle that I was in. And I was like, what? And at one point she walked by, turned, looked at me, and the only thought that I had going through my head, like, she's probably going to, like, ask me if
hey, are you finding everything all right?
Everything okay. And then she just turned and walked away. And I was like...
She just looked at you and was like, he's got it.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thought was like, but then she kept walking by and looking at me.
Dude, maybe she was trying to work up the courage to ask you to bang.
I thought that she was going to ask me if I could, like, change her oil, or like, hey, my car is doing this. What's wrong with it? That's what I thought she was doing. And that's like what made me think of, like, the skill thing is like, yeah, I can change your oil and fucking replace your wiper blades.
See, that's all I can do. When someone walks by me like that, and I'm like, oh man, are they going to ask me what shirt they should pair with those pants?
Oh.
Yeah. So now I mostly listen to pop punk bangers on a first date.
Which I feel like with
my
women
type of
our
women.
age,
yeah,
the ones you should be dating, are going to probably be like, oh man, yeah, I remember this classic, because, you know, they're probably listening to, like, fucking Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, no, I actually probably listen to, like, some of the newer stuff also, a lot more, like the Wonder Years and stuff like that. Not so much like Blink 182. Yes.
Fred Savage has a band?
No.
Oh.
The Wonder Years is a band. It's just
also a TV show.
Yeah.
That I think is more famous.
A bit. I don't know, the Wonder Years band is pretty big, like several million monthly listeners, Spotify big.
Yeah,
the show is still bigger.
Yeah,
but
because you have all those old people who used to watch it.
Well, they'll be dead soon.
Hopefully. Fucking ruining this country. Fuck the 44 and over demographic.
All right, so up next, we got Why Can't You Be Nicer to Me?
So this is a song I know you hate because the main riff is like bend, bend, bend.
I should count it. Dun, 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 dun,
Why can't you be nicer to me?
Dun, 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 1,000 fucking times. Like, I get it. You only had one idea, and you tried to milk it for 5 fucking minutes. Okay.
Oh, it was 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Felt like a fucking eternity.
I like this song. I know why you don't like it because of the bends and the blues and the.
Well, it's not even that. No one should play 3 chord or 3 like strums, 3 distinct strums 100 fucking times in one song.
It is. I get where you're coming with the repetitiveness, and that is a. As I've gotten older and my music tastes have expanded thanks to you and your gent,
my hardcore
your pop, and your hardcore. I don't want to say that I've grown a distaste for it, but it's worn thin on me. Like listening to a 4-minute song of the same riff over and over again has proven to be a little bit more difficult. But I appreciate it.
Where you're kind of just like, okay, maybe this isn't the best thing. I still like it, but maybe there is more to music than one riff for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Or, 3 notes for 4 minutes.
Go fuck your punk shit there, bud. Fucking how many chords is that one fucking Dead Kennedy song? The famous one.
Oh, Holiday in Cambodia?
No, the other one. Uber Alice.
Oh.
That's 3 fucking chords that they play up and down the fucking neck.
Yeah, but it doesn't just sound the same the whole song, where it's literally just like the same exact thing. Like, it sounds like he just played those 3 notes, then went on a computer, Control-C, Control-V, 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 Control-V. Okay, time to add something a little bit different there. Control-V, Control-V, Control-V. And just sat there and just was like, all right, there, I wrote a song. I'm a genius.
Blues music. I don't know where the disconnection is, Taryn, for you. Like, that is blues music.
Phone call?
Same thing as making a DC movie. Just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and people fucking hate it.
I mean, let's be real. Marvel's the same thing over and over again, but it's good.
Yeah, they somehow pull it out. It's not the same thing over and over again.
All right. You got the hero. He's on top of his fucking game. He is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas.
Oof, Black Panther. Come on, that's way too on the nose.
A bad guy shows up, knocks him down a peg. He realizes he's not as great as he was. Then he has to go on a journey of retribution and bringing back his strength. And then while he's the underdog, he fights the villain and wins. Am I describing Spider-Man Homecoming? Am I describing Black Panther? Am I describing Winter Soldier? Am I describing all of the Iron Man movies?
I don't think
Iron Man 1.
I wouldn't classify Winter Soldier as that one because Captain America, I didn't like. Yeah, he was doing his thing, but then he wasn't knocked down a peg.
Coup.
He was in the middle of a coup. So that's different. That's a spy thriller. That's a great one. But I get where you're coming from. Just the Marvel Cinematic Universe somehow is able to make it the same cookie cutter shit, but
they knock it out of the fucking park.
Yeah, they make it different somehow, and you don't notice that until you break it down formulaically. But yeah, why can't you be nice for me? I like it. I understand why you don't.
Yep. Your Southern Can is Mine.
Oh, fuck
yes. Is this a cover?
This is a cover by my favorite blues musician.
So then I'm going to run my biggest criticism by you. And if it's by the original blues musician.
This one is accurate to a T. So
starts off really good. Just right out.
With a guitar riff.
Right out the get-go, I loved it. Then some fucking moron in a writer's room at some point, or just alone in their fucking basement, decided to say, from Revelations back to Genesee. Who the fuck? It's Genesis, first off. Oh, back to Genesee. It's Genesee. That is the dumbest sounding fucking thing. I swear to God. It is the worst decision I've ever heard in my life. I can't fucking stand it. Every time I heard it, I just skipped the song. I finally just had to start the song about 30 seconds in so that I wouldn't hear it.
I'm looking this lyric up because I don't think that... Oh, yeah. I always heard it as Tennessee.
It's from Revelation. It's the Bible. From Revelations back to... Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. But I just always thought it was from Revelations back to Tennessee because it was a blues song. Well, Taryn...
Listen here, you fuck.
That is the way Blind Willie McTell sang it.
I hate it.
And
it just sounds so pretentious. It's like those people who insist on using like French pronunciations.
Well, how else are you supposed to get Genesis to rhyme with me?
You don't have to rhyme. It's not a rule.
This fist Genesis me.
Yeah, you don't have to rhyme.
I know, but
it's like people who are like, it's not croissant, it's croissant. Like those fucking people. That's what Genesee sounds like.
Well, Blind Willie McTell's dead, so
all right.
I'd love for you to tell him.
He gets what he fucking deserves. I mean, sure, he'd probably be like 150 if he was alive right now, but
he was born in 1898. It's 122.
Yeah, it's still too old.
I mean, there are people who are 108.
Yeah, you know? That's too fucking old.
There's a nun who just survived COVID and is 113.
When you're at 7 billion people, there's such a thing as too old.
Yeah,
you need to fucking go.
This I'd say is probably my favorite cover.
Yeah, the rest of the song's good. I enjoyed the rest of it.
My favorite part, I think this is a perfect song to end the album too, because it's a great cover.
Oh yeah,
and they do it to a T the way that it was originally done. Like obviously the only difference, I think the guitar is better than Blind Willie McTell. I think Jack White's a better guitarist. The sound is better. The instrument itself is just better made and produced than what Blind Willie McTell was using. Back in the fucking 20s or 30s and 40s when he recorded this. It's done very accurately. Like Death Letter, he took a lot of artistic liberties with it. And this one, he does a little bit, but just to make it sound newer. And then the way it ends, the very last part of the song where you hear an actual recording of a producer talking to Blind Willie McTell.
I didn't know that's what that was.
Yeah, no, that's an actual recording, like an outtake of it, and they threw it in at the end of the song, and you hear the producer going like, "Are y'all all right, Willie? Like, you seem a little shook up." He's like, "Oh, I'm all right. I'm just a little shook up. I was in an automobile accident last night. I'm all shook up, brother, but I'll be fine." And you're like, that's so fucking cool. And then that's the end of the album.
Yeah.
It's just like a fun. This was an album that was made for no one, but somehow needed to be made.
Yeah, like it definitely just sounds like it was like almost like one of those like really niche art installations where it's just like.
But it's actual art.
Yeah, well, like like he just like made it and put it out there, and it was really smart. It was really like artistically forward, especially for the time, where like he just pulled old into the present and added a bunch of new to it to just make a completely different animal. And it was just like, I don't think if he made this, it would ever have got like made to this caliber. Like it was either Jack White was gonna make this or no one was going to. You could say the Black Keys were gonna make this anyway, but I don't think they were. I do think there's a lot of ripoff from the Black Keys to the White Stripes. But,
influence is what I call it.
Yeah, but like I don't think the Black Keys would have. I think they would have probably still been a band. They're two talented guys who probably knew each other before they ever heard the White Stripes.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
So they probably would have made music. They just wouldn't have made the music that they ended up making. I think they would have just made something probably in the same ballpark, like stylistically, but I think what Jack White did for garage rock and bluesy rock definitely like created like what the genre is.
Yeah.
Which huge props to Jack. Basically like making a whole genre around what you did is insane.
Yeah, no, if you talk about garage rock, you have to talk about the White Stripes.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's like one of those things been talking about, talking about any rock music and mentioning the Beatles. Like every musician is influenced by them.
Yeah.
Every rock musician now, I think there's so many different influences. I feel like the White Stripes are the Beatles of the garage rock. Genre, but it's Die Still is it's an interesting album. It's very niche. I will say it's very niche.
I could see why it's like the kind of like underground fan favorite album. Like I definitely see where like that comes from, where it's like, it's not Seven Nation Army, it's not going to be the one played in arenas and shit.
Yeah,
but it's like it's got a lot of that flavor that you don't find otherwise.
Yeah, and this was after they had already released their first album. They still weren't famous. Like Jack White still had his upholstering shop that he did.
Yeah.
And he finally shut it down so he could go do a world tour, actually tour and promote the band. And it was just like, that's like the, like the band is putting everything in it, you know? So I think this is kind of a one that kind of showed our differences in music, you know? Because your viewpoints on the underproduction of the album, I think I think if he were to sit right here, he would say that was done on purpose. Which I know your qualms with that.
Yeah.
But it's
no, I actually would very much not want to sit down and talk with him. Not because like I wouldn't want to have the debate, but because I know he wouldn't actually give the debate. Because just from what I've seen of him, his whole stance would be like, well, I'm a musical genius, Jack White, so, those are my decisions, so they're the correct decisions. And it's like, no.
Well, when it comes to art, the dude who fucking duct taped the banana up to the wall would have the same argument. And it's art. It's all fucking opinion.
Yeah.
That's why there's fucking 17,000 YouTube channels that have shit falling off the walls.
Oh dear. All right. No, he's our guest.
Fuck him. Oh, shit's falling off the walls.
It's because it's covering the TV stand thing that was here when we moved in.
Yeah, whatever.
I think we could unscrew it.
Yeah, fuck it. Put a clean strip up there. But yeah.
But no, I enjoyed the album more than I thought I would, but that doesn't mean I enjoyed the album that much.
I know, because
it's just not my cup of tea, but that's okay because I took away a lot of Jack's like musical genius from it, where like how musically forward he was in inventing his own thing.
He took all these influences, punk, I mean old country like Loretta Lynn and Johnny Cash and all these guys, and then like the teens and 20s and 30s blues music that nobody listened to, that nobody started even listening to until the 60s and 70s. Because they were black and they were,
and that wasn't okay.
It wasn't okay to listen to blues music. And he took all these things and then made it somehow apply to today. And sound good. That's fantastic.
This was definitely a better representation of like artistic and visionary skill than like the kind of skill that you get when someone's trying to show off how talented they are. And I appreciate like the differences there, because he's a phenomenal guitarist, but you're never going to catch him playing like Polyphia kind of like level of difficulty guitar, because that's not the skill he's trying to show. He's not trying to be like, look at how amazing I am at guitar. It's look at how like well thought out my music is, and like how like visionary it is. And I appreciate that. Like I can't knock him for that. For being
but I mean with Polyphia, I feel like
they're pretty visionary.
They're visionary
Yeah.
and like look what I can fucking do.
Yeah. Fucking Tim.
Yeah, Tim Henson, man. But yeah, no, like just watching Jack White play live, because I've seen him live, and
like his performance on SNL was amazing.
He's so fucking energetic, man. And what he's doing is just, I don't know. He is like that guy. So Back to the Future, #1, at the end of when Marty McFly is playing Johnny B. Good, he's fucking going off, and just the band is like, what the fuck? And they're like not able to really keep up because they don't know what this is. Yeah. I feel like Jack White has somehow been able to concentrate that and have that same sort of energy and just that fucking crazy jamming guy and able to make it work with a band. Yeah. Like
So basically, he's like the band Fish. I'm kidding.
I've never listened to Fish.
I do not enjoy Fish.
What are they?
They're a jam band.
Other than a fucking Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
They're a jam band that's just like, it's kind of like if every member of the band did what Jack does when he goes like high energy, kind of off the rails from the script. Imagine if everyone in the band did that.
Like that one song on that Altered State album, the end song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So to give it my final score, I give it a high 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just because I would never listen to any of this music again, and it's not at all to my musical taste. I'm not gonna put it at the middle because it's just like I don't want to say below what I listen to, but in terms of taste, it's below what I listen to. But it's so artistically good, I can't say like it's bad. So it's bad for me to listen to, but it's not bad.
No, I get what you're saying. I give this a strong 7.
Strong 7.
Yeah, it's one of my more favorite White Stripes albums. There's a few of them, like Get Behind Me, Satan. That's
a great song title.
That's an album title. They don't have a song
that.
Get Behind Me, Satan. There's another one. I can't remember what it's called. Their last few albums, like, where they had their fucking top hits, Seven Nation Army, Icky Thump, and all that on those albums. I can't really get into those ones. Or Elephant. I can't really get into that one. Like, they're great albums, but this one and the first one, White Blood Cells, are like my favorite.
Okay.
Of theirs. So, all right.
That was the White Stripes.
It'll be a long time before we listen to another one. The podcast will be over before we listen to another one.
The Stijl.
The style.
And now, for next week, we'll be coming at you all the way from 1989.
You're the one who's bringing the old shit.
With legendary 4-piece glam metal band Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood.
Oh, God, I am ready for this.
This is the album that first introduced me to metal, so I'm pretty jazzed to review this. My first kind of taste of harder music when I was about 10, 11 years old, sitting in the car while my dad was in the liquor store. Kickstart My Heart came on the radio, and the rest is history.
So, okay, we're going to listen to the 1989 song album Feel Good. Are we going to listen to the demos that are on there?
No demos.
Okay, so we'll just go down to Time for a Change.
Thanks Spotify for giving us like the exclusive version or something.
So, I know Motley Crue's hits. So yeah. I know Dr. Feelgood. I know Kickstart My Heart.
That's probably all you know from the album?
Maybe. I might know Same Old Situation, or I might be getting it confused with an Aerosmith song, but they're all the same.
What?
No, Aerosmith is not that great. Which is funny because I like a couple Aerosmith songs. But the rest of their shit is shit. It's like the Rolling Stones. You've done too much. You've ruined what you had was good.
I don't know. I've never like really enjoyed the Rolling Stones. Like,
Their early stuff, like in the early, the early to mid 60s.
Painted Black was pretty good.
Painted Black is good. I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Their album Out of Their Heads is great. But their fucking 80s garbage, their 90s garbage. They did kind of pull it around in the early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
They had a single come out, Doom and Gloom, which I think is a good fucking song. But yeah, no, I'm excited for Dr. Feelgood. I can remember that one.
Yeah, that's definitely an album that we'll enjoy.
I haven't really listened to anything other than the hits of Motley Crue. I've seen the fucking Netflix movie.
Oh, Dirt. Yeah,
that's a good fucking movie.
Dude, great fucking movie.
So I'm excited.
Surprisingly, like Machine Gun Kelly is Tommy Lee was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so catch us next week while we talk about Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood.
Motley Crue, and
Motley Crow.
We won't mention your original PS username, PlayStation username of Saints of LA.
As you say it, Saints Los Angeles.
You don't have that one anymore.
Yeah, I haven't had it in a long time. I still use Saints a lot though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, lately I've mostly just tearing it up. Actually, I think I'm now only tearing it up on all platforms.
Why?
I don't care. What are they gonna add me on Steam? I don't care, dude. If someone listened to this and then add me on Steam, that'd be fucking dope.
Added you on PlayStation so you could play Smite.
Yeah.
Add tearing it up on Smite.
Yeah, I'll jungle for you. I don't fucking care. I'll solo.
I don't know what these are.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
This is us.
Nope.
Yep.
No, we have to say where you can go find us and tell us.
Yeah, we gotta
tell
plug
us where
our
dumb
shit.
counts.
Are we gonna have merch?
No. Why would we have merch?
Because
have you ever seen someone wear podcast merch?
No, I wanted like a custom molded dildo of me.
You know what? If we get 100 people who say they would want one, we'll do it.
Okay, cool. You'll have to help me with the molding.
Never mind.
You got to keep me up.
Never mind. No custom dildos. Anyway.
All right, so you can catch us on Twitter at Surprising Twit. You can catch us on Instagram on Surprisingly Podcast.
That's it.
Okay. And then if you're listening to us on YouTube, check out the Surprisingly Sober Podcast over on Spotify. If you're listening to us on Spotify, also feel free to check us out on YouTube where you can actually like leave comments, tell us how shit we are. And if you're listening to us on Apple Music, you can always download Spotify and improve your life.
Platform.
Yeah.
Get off the Apple tit.
Yeah. Because let's face it, Apple's doing nothing good for computers and like technological progression, but
yeah, they're just making their own shit and piggybacking off everyone else's technological progression.
They're so okay. Let's like say like people who make computers are like Democrats, okay? Like the ones like behind like NVIDIA and stuff like that. They're the AOCs, you know. They're the ones actually pushing innovation. Apple's like a Pelosi. They're just sitting there fucking like taking credit for all the good shit that's happening. Well, they're not doing jack shit. They're just lazy fucking lifer Democrats, and that's what Apple is. Anyway, thanks for listening to us.
Check us out on Surprisingly Sober. We'll get into more of that.
I don't even know what the fuck I was saying there.
That was apparent. It was very apparent. All right, we are r/ signing off.
Bye. All right, let's see what Ashley... Oh, she sent me a video.